Right now at noon, the Senate voted to advance Brett Kavanaugh's nomination to the Supreme Court forward, but senators could still change their final vote. And the Brewers are set to take on the Rockies in Game 2 of the National League Division Series. We'll tell you who's going to take the mound for Milwaukee.
This is News 3 at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 on this Friday afternoon. We'll get to those stories in a bit, but first, let's head over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield does a look at your first alert forecast. What a blah day.
The clouds, the rain this morning, a little bit of a break, but those clouds aren't going anywhere, unfortunately, and we'll welcome in some more heavy rain as we head into later on tonight. But for now, we are dry across southern Wisconsin. We have some rain really all around us and some snow to the north, but we don't need to worry about that just yet. However, some rain is possible later on tonight into tomorrow, so an alert day in the forecast for the threat of that heavy rain. Some spots could pick up 1 to 2, maybe even 3 to 4 inches of rain, depending on where these downpours set up, especially for far southern Wisconsin. Flash flooding is also possible, so that flash flood watch goes from tonight into tomorrow early afternoon. A live look in Madison at the very cloudy skies. We are definitely socked in with the clouds on the WISC-TV Skycam. Temperatures are responding to those clouds in the 40s and 50s. Really, temperatures not moving pretty much at all throughout this Friday, staying in the mid to upper 50s. And your forecast first, those showers and thunderstorms become more likely later this evening into the overnight hours. Temperatures starting off in the 40s as we head into tomorrow. And when I come back in just a few minutes, we will talk more about the threat of that heavy rain and when we can expect to see that sunshine again in your first alert forecast.
Maybe some problems tonight, perhaps, for Friday Night Football.
Yes, we'll have to definitely time that out, and we'll do that in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Dave. We'll see you then. Madison police are looking for possible suspect vehicles after a woman was shot at while stopped at a red light last night. Officers say the 23-year-old woman was in her vehicle at the intersection of South Whitney Way and Schrader Road about 11:35 when someone in another vehicle shot at her. She was not injured. Investigators say there are 2 suspected vehicles. One described as a gray or black relatively new SUV. The other was a red SUV with an 8 in the license plate number. Anyone with information has to contact the Madison Police Department. 3 teenagers were arrested after stealing and crashing several vehicles and then riding their bikes back to school. Investigators say 3 juveniles went to a business in Richland County, loaded their bikes into a Chevy Trailblazer and stole the vehicle. They then drove to a construction business in the town of Spring Green and took 2 trucks. They crashed all 3 vehicles and abandoned them. The juveniles, who were transporting their bikes in the stolen trucks, then rode their bikes back into the village of Spring Green and attended school. The juveniles, a 13-year-old and 2 15-year-olds, were arrested and referred to the juvenile court system on several charges. Judge Brett Kavanaugh is one step closer to becoming a Supreme Court justice. The Senate voted 51 to 49 today to advance his nomination forward, but senators could change course for the final vote. Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill with the latest.
Those are 49. The motion is agreed to.
The Senate voted this morning to limit debate on Judge Brett Kavanaugh's Supreme Court nomination, clearing the way for a final vote expected tomorrow. GOP Senator Lisa Murkowski voted no, and Democratic Senator Joe Manchin voted yes. Republican Senator Susan Collins says she will announce later today how she will vote tomorrow. Before the vote, Senate leaders presented their version of closing arguments.
Everyone is innocent until proven guilty.
Judge Kavanaugh presented to the Senate the bitterest partisan testimony I have ever heard coming from a candidate seeking the Senate's approval.
Is that justice?
Kavanaugh opponents protested through the night and confronted Republican Senator Orrin Hatch this morning.
Are you saying her accusations are false?
Yeah, I think some of them are.
A Republican summary of the investigation released overnight revealed the FBI interviewed 10 people who might have had firsthand knowledge of the sexual assault allegations by Dr. Christine Blasey Ford and Deborah Ramirez. Democrats claim the report is incomplete, and CBS News has confirmed the FBI limited its scope at the direction of Republicans and the White House.
This confirmation process has become a national disgrace.
In an op-ed released Thursday night, Kavanaugh admitted he might have been too emotional at times last week. I know that my tone was sharp and I said a few things I should not have said. Following the vote, President Trump tweeted that he is proud of the U.S. Senate for voting yes to advance Judge Kavanaugh's nomination. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Meanwhile, Governor Scott Walker is not saying whether he thinks the U.S. Senate should confirm Brett Kavanaugh for the Supreme Court. Walker said today, quote, "I'll leave that up to the members of the Senate." Walker says he thinks Kavanaugh is qualified for the position. And Democrat Tammy Baldwin opposes his confirmation while Republican Ron Johnson supports him. Johnson said Thursday that there is no evidence to back up sexual assault allegations. The First Lady is in Kenya today, continuing her first solo foreign trip. She visited a wildlife park and an elephant orphanage. Kenya is the third stop on Mrs. Trump's African tour. During a short safari, she was briefed on the country's attempt to conserve wildlife in a region where poaching is rampant.
Coming here will create a lot of publicity to the elephants in general, and people will know that these elephants have a right to life and need to be protected.
Mrs. Trump's final stop on her tour of the continent will be in Egypt, where she'll focus on child welfare, education, and tourism. Well, just over 3 hours to go now until the second game of the National League Division Series. It gets underway in Milwaukee. Yoli Shashin will take the mound for the Brewers as they battle the Rockies. Last night, Milwaukee beat Colorado in walk-off fashion in the 10th inning. After today's game, the Brewers will head to Colorado for Game 3 of the series. It'll be played Sunday at 3:37 in the afternoon. And tonight, the Prep Mania High School football game of the week is at Monona Grove, where the Silver Eagles and Stoughton have an important game in the Badger South Conference. Join Jay Wilson for the game live on TVW and live streamed on channel3000.com. That's at 7 o'clock tonight. And there's more to come on News 3 at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Join us as I show you how to tell if an eggplant is male or female. Then I'll tell you which one you should look for. Hey, I've got a question for you. Do you know how to tell a male eggplant from a female eggplant? Nope, I'm not kidding. There really are male and female eggplants. And to tell the sex of an eggplant, you'll look at the indentation at the bottom. If it's a dash, it's female. If it's round, it's male. Male eggplants have fewer seeds, which makes them a little less bitter. So the next time you're at the store, pick up a few male eggplants and try this. We begin by cooking some ziti according to the package directions. While that's draining, we slice an eggplant into very thin slices and season them with some salt and garlic powder. Then we pan fry them until they're browned on each side and lay them out on some paper towel. Now, we toss the pasta with some sauce and layer half of it into a baking dish. Over that goes some mozzarella cheese, half the eggplant, and a little Parmesan. Now, we'll repeat this one more time and finish it off with more sauce and more cheese. What you end up with is layer after layer of cheesy Italian goodness. To get this easy change of pace recipe, all you have to do is visit our website and search for baked macaroni and eggplant Neapolitan. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we learned how to tell the sex of an eggplant and then turned it into a truly Italian way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. A cool fall day with scattered showers. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield is tracking some potential storms for this evening. You'll have more in your first alert forecast. Our Call for Action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. You can call the hotline. Volunteers will help you with any consumer complaints. The number 608-270-2833. The service open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11 and 1. Well, there's a crack in the armor of the job market, and a toddler tests the value of money. Diane King Hall has more in today's Money Watch report.
The nation's unemployment rate fell to the lowest level since December of 1969 last month at 3.7%. But the Labor Department reported that employers added just 134,000 jobs, which was the least in a year. Hurricane Florence may have impacted that number as the storm shuttered thousands of businesses in the Carolinas last month. The U.S. trade deficit widened in August. The Commerce Department says the imbalance between exports and imports rose 6.4% to $53.2 billion. That is a 6-month high. And the politically sensitive trade deficit with China surged to a record. Toyota is recalling more than 2.4 million hybrid cars globally. The recall affects certain Prius vehicles made between October 2008 and November of 2014. The company says a system flaw could cause vehicles to lose power and stall. And a Utah family says their toddler shredded $1,000 in cash the parents had saved. The toddler's parents had been saving the money for a year to pay back a family loan for college football season tickets. The parents say they put the money in an envelope, but it disappeared. They discovered their 2-year-old son had put the envelope in a shredder. And that's their CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
All right, Diane, I don't think that kid's going to be in the will. Dow Industrial's down 244 points at the noon hour. The NASDAQ down 128. Farm Director Pam Yankee is at the World Dairy Expo. She'll be back with us on Monday, so here are your farm numbers. Dave Caulfield is here now. High school football tonight, Badger football tomorrow evening at Camp Randall.
I think the raindrops are going to stay away for the start of the football games tonight, but by the fourth quarter, that could be a different story. So have that umbrella with you because another round of rain is on the way to southern Wisconsin. So an alert day in the forecast for tonight for some possible flash flooding. Also, especially for spots south of Madison, some gusty winds and hail possible with these thunderstorms. So a flash flood watch in effect from tonight around 7 through tomorrow around 1 p.m. That's when the last of those showers will get out of here. Wish the clouds would get out of here, folks, but we are really socked in with them. They are sticking around for much of this Friday into tomorrow as well. Hopefully a little bit of sunshine tomorrow, but not that much. At least that's the way it's looking right now. So Doppler track has been pretty quiet over the past 3 hours. We did see that earlier round of showers move through southern Wisconsin, but right now just cloudy skies in downtown Madison on the Edgewater Skycam. The almanac for today, forecast high 59, so definitely about 5 degrees below normal for this time of year. And I think we'll stay below normal over the next couple of days, but temperatures do try and make a run into the upper 70s by the start of next week. So our October precipitation already up to all twos on the board, 2.22 inches of rain, and that's pretty close to our average for the entire month. I think by the time we get through the end of today into tomorrow, we'll have eclipsed that number already in just the first 5 or 6 days of the the month. Temperatures right now in the upper 40s in Camp Douglas, mid 50s in Madison, 57 in Janesville, and 55 in Mineral Point. As I mentioned, that high temperature trend, those temperatures should be a little bit lower than that in the mid 60s and moving into the low 60s over the next couple of days. But as I mentioned, those highs in the mid to upper 70s by the time we get to the middle of next week. So breaking news here, folks. We in Dane County have reached a little bit above what we have been in fall color report. Let me try and find a better way to say what I'm trying to say here. We are now in the 25 to 50% mark as far as our fall color report. Second time's the charm there, folks. So we're starting to see more and more leaves start to turn, but I do think we're still about 2 to 3 weeks away from peak, especially for southern Wisconsin. Now, northern portions of the state already in their peak in some spots, so we'll call it patchy leaf changing weather right now. And as far as the moisture for us across southern Wisconsin, we're getting kind of a 1-2 punch with Pacific flow and also that Gulf of Mexico moisture flow. That really gives us a lot of available water for the atmosphere to precipitate. So as I mentioned, kickoff temperature around 57. We stay in the 50s for the entire game, but rain will be developing throughout the game, so have that umbrella ready to go. By the time we get to later, our next round of possibly heavy rain, some gusty wind and hail possible. Those showers lasting into the early portions of Saturday afternoon, then maybe some peaks of sunshine by the time we get into later on Saturday. But that rain right back with us on Sunday, and could be dealing with about 1 to 2, even locally heavier amounts, 1 to 2 inches of rain, I should say, over the next 24 hours or so. 7-day forecast showing many more chances for showers and storms. Those temperatures in the 70s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But as we head into the start of next weekend, I think we'll dry out and cool down with those temperatures back into the 50s Thursday and Friday, maybe hitting 60 by next Saturday, but the pleasant conditions start us off for next weekend. So it does look like those gray skies are going to clear up eventually, but not for about 4 or 5 days.
So we can't put on a happy face yet.
Not just yet.
All right. Sooner or later. Thank you, Dave. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. Up next, a boy from Maine is getting a special treat for his final cancer treatment. That story when we come back.
I'm Batman.
He also goes by Liam.
Today is special about that's my ass treatment.
Liam has been in treatment for high-grade glioma for over a year now. He just is finishing chemo today. He understands what's going on. He knows his treatment. He knows the prognosis somewhat. He was only given a year. He wasn't supposed to make it till April. And here he is, and he's just going.
He's a happy kid with a dream.
I want to be a policeman when I grow up.
Liam's always wanted to be an officer.
He even has a favorite.
Officer Dan.
Dan Gastia from Bangor PD and Liam have struck up a friendship over the last year.
To see how strong he is as an individual is something I admire. He's faced a lot of adversity through this, and he's a strong individual.
On Thursday morning, Officer Dan and members of the Penobscot County Sheriff's Department gave Liam a ride to his appointment.
I'm going to be driving a police car to cancer care.
Before they left, an exchange of gifts.
Oh, I got a present for you.
It's pretty exciting when the young man gets to get in a vehicle and use the radio. And again, just he inspired us. And we thought we were here for him. And I think he's done so much for our community and for all of us. And it was just a blessing to be part of it.
Liam wants to be a police officer when he grows up. And for Liam, that's a dream that he won't be able to realize because of his illness. But we wanted him to have that moment today.
He's just amazing. He's my inspiration. He's a great kid.
He is a great kid. I'll remember this day.
Yeah.
And I'm going to remember this day for no sun.
Yeah, because the clouds just still with us. Nothing on radar right now, but that will change as we head into tonight. So bring the umbrella out to Friday night football festivities. Could be a few strikes of lightning, also some gusty winds and hail overnight into tomorrow morning. Then those temperatures really staying steady in the 50s, and we're in the 70s by the time we get into the start of next week.
All right. It's an alert day. Keep an eye on things. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, have a good afternoon.